Welcome to this review of the all-new Range Rover, the 5th generation. Here with Thomas on Autogefühl, all the details you need to know. You can see the front, rather streamlined design. Also, indeed, the wind efficiency has been increased. Interesting new structure here in the front grille. LED is standard with a modern daytime light signature, and also digital LED light is now available. As for the base technology, they have stiffened up the chassis now, 50% stiffer. This is supposed to bring you more sporty driving and, well, sporty looking rims for sure. You can see here 23-inch wheels. It goes from 21 to maximum 23, and these ones are the biggest ones that are available. Here in the side profile, the typical Range Rover styling, really upright, massive and strong. This is the short wheelbase version, 5.05 m or 199 inches. There's also long wheelbase version available then at 5.25 m or 207 inches, so 20 centimeters or 8 inches then in the difference. Once again, really upright, one of the very rare vehicles where I don't look like a giant next to the vehicle. And then these typical vertical design elements here that really are reminiscent of the past Range Rover models. You can see here the door handles, they fold in and out, so when I close the vehicle they go in. At the moment the key is on the inside, but this is also again to increase the wind efficiency. And towards the rear we have the tinted windows right there, and here horizontal element there. And interesting technology detail is also a completely new rear axle, supposed to bring you more comfort. And rear axle steering is standard. That means up to 7.3 degrees the rear wheels can turn in the opposite direction than the front wheels, and that kind of fakes a shorter wheelbase. Air suspension, as usual, is also standard. And as an option, it can also look ahead, basically with GPS data, and then adapt what the suspension does depending on what terrain is to come. Here in the rear, new vertical lamps rather placed a little bit lower right there, and a very clean design. I really like that. So far the design was maybe a little bit too Transformers-alike in the past Land Rover years, but here now very clean, and also no fake exhaust at all. The exhaust is hidden underneath, and it will be very interesting what engines there are to come, because petrol, diesel, yes, rather classic. There will also be a plug-in hybrid available already right now, and 2024 the all-electric version is to come. Oh, and on top part you can see two shark fins, and here this one here is the rear view camera, or one of the rear view cameras that you can see to the rear even when you have stuff in the trunk. And then on the right side, this is then where the 5G connectivity is hidden. And another color choice here, this is a special paint. It's called Copper Sunrise Satin, or it's a matte color, really impressive. And this one also is the SV from Special Vehicle Operation. That means it has a different front grille here, so when you have more bespoke options, and also different lower party, as well as this framed Range Rover badging here in the front. Khaki, yeah, rather a little bit, not that premium-like, to be honest. When you open the vehicle, and you can see here that the door handles come towards you, and this one is also here with soft close. And there's also another option that the door half opens automatically when you approach, but not equipped with this vehicle at the moment. Then on the inside, new materials, and this is here the animal leather-free interior. So that means here we have this kind of like neoprene-like texture right here. Really cool material, soft also as well here. And same goes also for the steering wheel, and most important, the seat. Here, this looks and feels like one of the highest grades of animal skin, but it's actually not. It is perforated, can also be heated and cooled, but it's actually animal free. This is really, really cool. Very nice, feels really nice and premium. And they call it Ultrafabrics. And on the side here, this is the so-called quadrat fabrics from the Danish manufacturer. They still use some wool share, so it's not completely animal free, but the thing is, just in this fabric, I think about 30% wool share, so hardly any animal materials left. Of course, it's not really necessary to do it. You can also do it without it. But overall, I think a step in a very, very good direction, and indeed completely leather-free, animal leather-free. And also as for the seating comfort, it's really, really soft, very comfortable, the typical command driving position as they call it at Land Rover. Enough space, and here with 1.86 m or 6'1", also enough headroom left, although we have the panoramic roof here. We're soon going to show you that. Steering wheel, electronically up and down, in and out, like this. And yeah, also in this first edition, very nice here with the high floor mats here. So yeah, I mean, this is a very cool thing. Really like this direction. I mean, when you think about, the previous generation, now in this generation, plug-in hybrid available, the all-electric version will be coming, and for the first time, an animal leather-free interior. Way to go, and even more surprises here, new changes to come in the infotainment system. Interior overview, very interesting, soon more deals to these screens. Here, this is kind of a curved screen, but like on the outside curved, in 13.7 inch, and on the left side digital instruments in 13.1 inch. Then new material choices here also at the steering wheel, as I said. This is then once again also the animal free steering wheel. It's very interesting material, definitely. Mercedes is also offering this kind of material for the EQS and the EQE. Really a mix of microfiber and leatherettes, so it has kind of a structure. Very interesting, good to grip as well. Then on the steering wheel, some capacitive buttons, but also some classic steel, for example, for the volume. That's really good to have. And also for the cruise control, a mix of capacitive and real ones. I think this is then acceptable this way and not only capacitive BS. Also here at the dashboard, soft touch, and once again, these neoprene texture alike materials. Very cool looking and also feels very nicely. Then here is then for the glove boxes. At the moment, just stuff in there like this. Typical 2-split glove box. Digital instruments also look kind of special, and you can also switch the views a little bit. Here, for example, with the display layout. And then you can also put the map right here, like this. And another option next to our champagne we have here for our shooting. Just kidding, we're just drinking water, of course. We have here the optional help display showing speed and also some GPS arrow when you have a route set. Infotainment system, you have this main view, like this. Also here with the off-road views and so on. It's still an off-road capable vehicle. And then you have this view here as well. What's quite interesting, by the way, first of all, you have here the tailgate event suite coming up later on. This is then you have more sound at the tailgate when you are in this picnic mode. And then the map here, really bright in this scheme, and also quite responsive. So the most responsive map we've seen from Jaguar Land Rover so far. So this makes a positive impression. And then here, Apple CarPlay menu, like this, really large. It's like really in your face, the CarPlay. And the sound here from the Meridian sound system is really awesome. A great in-depth surround sound. Really like that this is the highest build. And then it also comes with active noise cancellation, actually. What else is interesting? Let's take a look at the options, because here we can find, you can go, for example, to the audio options. There we can see more about this, this in the 3D sound. So, and then when we go to all options, this is a little bit complicated, you have to learn that first. And then you can go to general and display. You can also activate a haptic feedback. And then in this case, you cannot just, click on something, nothing, then you really have to like press, and then you also hear that something is happening, so you get a haptic feedback like in the display, but at the same time also acoustically. Yeah, but overall we are used from the smartphones, we just have to click something just very softly. So I think to leave it like this is the better decision. Car menu, like this. You can also deactivate ESC right there. But the off-road modes are really interesting. This still has all the assistance and our assistance here, differential locks and so on, what you might need. And of course it also changes then here in the different off-road modes and so on what the car is doing, and the air suspension can also still pump it up. Let's test the voice input. Drive me to Berlin.
I didn't understand that. Please say a command.
Navigate to Berlin. Let's see.
Choose a line number.
Well, that didn't go too well. In the lower part, a very nice solution for the climate dials. Really, still a classic turning dial. Good to have. And they found a good solution because when I pull it, then it switches to the vent strength. And when from here I push it, then to the seat heating or the seat cooling. And this is a very interesting solution. So they don't need too many dials, but still they offer a hard dial, and that's a very interesting solution they found here. These in the middle then are then the capacitive buttons. Here, by the way, from the side you can see how it has this like this curve, just a little bit interesting. Then you can slide this one here open in the lower part. Look at that. Inductive charging pad for your phone or normal charge. This is just for charging, by the way. And then here you can press this, and then this then the terrain select for off-road driving modes. Volume knob, and here cup holders, somewhat adapters as well. And then you can slide this one open, have two more charging possibilities, USB-C and USB-A. And then you can open this part here, and you can even cool this box. For the panoramic roof, you have this slider first. It's really nice with the bright ceiling. And then the second one is then to open the roof completely. So like this, and then we can have it also both sliding at the same time. And this is a very large roof indeed, really large. Let's see how far it goes. Yeah, that's it. And then of course we can open the slider all the way. Yeah, pretty fancy. You can get a through bench here as base, but you can also get this executive seating. Here's kind of more split, and you also have a middle console, and you have the option of putting seat away. And this is then giving you the ultimate executive seating here in the Range Rover. So the front seat goes to the forward like this. Then also the screen adjusts, and it's still upright once again. And of course, takes some time. You can also adjust this seat here, and then you have a little bit more space right here. This is then, by the way, not a footrest. This is just to put some things. This would be maybe something that is missing. We know like from recently from the Audi A8 or something. But here also when I put this one backward, you can have a very nice and relaxing position. And overall, if you compare these here two sedans, the thing is that you also have this upright seating position here, and that to me also adds to comfort. Then, by the way, here there's place to put your phone, for example. Here in this display you can also, for example, change the climate here in the rear. This is possible. Or here you can remove that thing again, and then it goes like this. Here, by the way, we also have illuminated seat belt holders. It's also a nice option. In the middle part to sit here is, not very executive-alike. Let's take it that way. And then here the rear middle console, you have a climate unit here. Then there's also a real power socket that also works to put, like a MacBook charger in there. And of course, very interesting, besides executive seating, when I'm sitting here in the front, this is the legroom we get. And it's of course sufficient, but for a car of that size, of course, not that abundant. That's because the seats are actually quite thick and so on. So not the best usage of space, but overall, once again, a lot of space in the rear. Oh, and by the way, fabric new Land Rover headphones. Short unpacking video for you. They don't have the most premium appearance or feeling, but do they look cool? Vote in the comments, but to me they don't feel that cool actually. Yeah, I think I'd rather stick with the Meridian sound system. Trunk area, this is very this is very interesting. Always one of my favorite features in the BMW X5 and also in the Range Rover, because we have these split tailgates that you can actually directly sit on it and have a picnic or something. But there's more to come. First of all, this top part here, I think that's a little bit too complicated because this is also electric. I think that's not really necessary. The trunk length here is 1 meter or 40 inches, by the way, and the same also goes for the width, 1 meter or 40 inches in the normal length here. And then you can see here a cabin trolley also easily fits in here in the vertical way. What else is there to show? Well, you know this is the animal-free interior for today. Sadly, this rear seating concept is then again from animal skin. It's not really necessary, but the idea is actually quite cool because you can lift this one up and then you can kind of like squeeze them in here that they are being held tight. So, and then you can fold this one up like this as a backrest. Put these ones up there like this. So, and then you have a softer seating area and actually can lean backwards. And then there's also something in the infotainment system. And then here are the speakers from below. See here, and then you have the music directly here where you're sitting. So I turned up the music now. Well, that's cool, right? Really coming from here now? Yeah, I mean, if they would offer this one here without the animal skin spec, I would definitely go for it. Why not? So, and then to fold the seats, we press these two, and then they take a little while to... Whoa, that's loud, but also impressive to see, definitely. What happens then? Whoa. See here, the front seats also go a little bit forward, but then when you have these executive seats, it's not exactly folding flat. As for engines, 3-liter inline 6-cylinder, both diesel and petrol. Based on the petrol 6-cylinder, there's also a plug-in hybrid then, 38 kilowatt hours battery, and supposed to give you a range of maximum 100 kilometers or 60 miles. Then there's the 4.4-liter V8, acceleration figure there at 4.6 seconds, and in 2024, the all-electric version on the very same platform. By the way, here, just a provisorium here with the charging that it doesn't deplete here the battery in the studio. And as it stands here right now, 160,000 euros with all the extra equipment inside. Quite hefty price indeed. And I want to know from you what you think about the all-new Range Rover. And you can tune into more luxury content here, luxury SUV content here at Autogefühl. For example, well, at that price, you can easily get, for example, BMW X7, or what people often search is a Mercedes G-Class. So Range Rover versus Mercedes G-Class, not exactly the same segment, maybe, but when people search that, tune into the episode.